a law graduate, a qualified company secretary with a diploma in international marketing from the Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University. Manvi Jain is a director of PMI Coaches as well as Chief of Corporate Affairs at PMI Electro Mobility Solutions. Born in Delhi, Manvi has over 15 years of experience, having started her career with DCM Shriram Limited as a company secretary handling a portfolio of 28 companies within India and abroad. Post DCM, she did independent projects with the Delhi State Industrial and Infrastructure Development Corporation to expand the horizon beyond compliances and governance. Thereafter, she joined a solar company and assisted in implementing the first ever canal top solar project and worked closely with Power Finance Commission to support its implementation. Manvi joined PMI in 2018 and has served in key leadership and general management roles including offshore activities, corporate governance and business development, with her aim being to shape the company's overall business agenda and leading its strategy and corporate development affairs. So welcome to Mobility Outlook, Manvi, and our program Women in Mobility. You're at the heart of what a very exciting sector, electric mobility. So tell us about your association with PMI and what do you think about this sector currently?
Okay, so it has been a really, a great experience working with PMI. We were an MSME when we started, and I came in as a company secretary and I thought it will be a usual compliance governance job. But all thanks to our promoter, who really, pushed me ahead saying that, that's not your job. I think you're capable of doing much more, and why don't you explore different fields. And He just left me open on the ground to pick whatever I want to do. And as my, own initiative, I didn't say no to any job that came in forward, be it business development, be it meeting the investors, be it going to the depot and, looking after the construction, maybe doing that, then handling, of course, my core job, which is governance. So that has given me a lot of exposure. And I was not very tech savvy before, but associating with PMI in these 5 years has given me a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about this sector. Sure. And I must say that it has huge learning and potential. I think India as a country has a way forward in especially electric mobility. Sure. As compared to the European, American markets, especially Chinese markets, I think India still has a lot of to bring in. And we are now at the beginning, line of the race. And I think that by 2030, as the vision of our Prime Minister goes, we will be able to be net zero with so many new initiatives taken by the government. So I think it's a very exciting sector.
Wonderful. Let's go back a few years, Manvi, when you started, of course, you're in a different sector, done different roles, and now here. Take us through that journey and the kind of learnings that you've had.
Yeah, so as I told you, I started with a complete manufacturing company, which was DCM Shriram. And Shriram Group had that products like cement manufacturing, etc., which was nowhere connected to automobile. And typically there I used to handle only the corporate affairs, like the compliance part. But when I took a little break during my family way and all, and I gave myself a thought that this is not where I belong to. I'm not just meant to sit at a desk, fill forms and do the ROC compliances. I thought it's much beyond it if I explore. And that's where I started doing a bit of freelancing, and I did projects with DSIIDC where we were given a job to, go and get the unauthorized colonies demolished and get them proper houses. So there was a whole lot of interaction, which was very exciting, and it gave me a lot of exposure to meet government officials, listening, talking to them. And it showed me a way that there is a lot in government business also. And after that, while I did finish that project, I luckily got an opportunity to work with a company called Sam Solar, where they were in the process of setting up country's first canal top project. Again, that was in the renewable sector, one of its revolution. And I thought this is the way forward where the country is going, moving away, from dependence on fossil fuels, going more towards solar and, renewable energy. And that's where the future will lead to. So, and why not do this? That's the first time I sort of explored the finance field. So that was another hat that I added to my portfolio of visiting these financial institutions, meeting banks, and exploring an opportunity to get these projects funded. So, and that again gave me a bit of exposure. After that, PMI just came, to me working as an opportunity. Again, I would say our promoter, Mr. Jain, he saw me working somewhere and he just asked me, will you work with us? I said, yes, okay. And he said, fine. Tomorrow you have to go to Mumbai for a deal. I said, fine. And that's how I came to PMI. And since then, I think I would say there has been not a stopping point or a blockage that I've had. He has been a tremendous support for me. Like he's always standing aside me to push me. Even if I make mistakes, he'll say, don't worry, I'm there. You make mistakes, you learn. So that has really given me a lot of exposure. And now I'm confident enough to, you ask me, anything about a bus, like we make electric buses. I can talk like an engineer. I can probably talk like a corporate professional. I can maybe talk like a marketing person. So that's what PMI has given me. So it has been a very exciting journey.
Wonderful. Again, looking back, Manvi, have you always been a go-getter? You did study law. Did you always wanted to get to the corporate side, or you also sort of nurtured dreams or plans of practicing law at some point?
No. So I was very clear that I want to climb up the corporate ladder. I didn't want to really practice law at any point in time. Although when I told you, I took a small break of 3 to 6 months when I was on my family way, I thought, should I practice? But somehow there is some charm in this corporate world which really attracts me. And after being in PMI, it doesn't really feel like I am working for somebody. It feels like I'm working for my own thing. That belongingness has come from this company, and now it is my dream to not only make this company big, it's like growing alongside this company. So now my dream is to make PMI, one of the largest and the biggest name in the country in e-mobility. So that has now become my dream, I think so. Practice was never a thought, although my entire family practices law. My father, my grandfather, my sister, my brother, everybody practices law. But I never wanted to go that side.
All right, wonderful. So PMI also as an organization believes in doing a lot for women, right? So give us a sense of the kind of initiatives that our organization has taken, and also particularly your role within that.
Yeah. So I think you must have read in a few articles which got published. PMI made a battery plant, and that's an all-women battery plant where we initiated to hire all young women engineers. And if you get an opportunity, you can come and see how those young women, handle that entire plant all on their own. Like I introduced this POSH committee, although it was not a mandatory thing, but we introduced it. And now every month, not as a POSH committee, but we have a forum where all the women come up with ideas, innovations, we take entries from them that, and we implement whatever are their ideas, even be it small, be a big change, but we make them feel attached to the whole project by they making a contribution. So if they think that, for example, one bolt should not be put this way, but this way, we said, yeah, why not try it? Maybe that, turns the product in a better position. So just giving an example or a feel of youth. And by me, at a management position, women myself, I think it brings comfort to the people working down also. They can look up to somebody and be non-hesitant to come up and share their problems, or maybe they have issues if they can. Although, again, I will mention him with my promoter being there. He is very friendly and everybody can go to him. That's not, but when I am there, so they are more comfortable in putting that up, and that has really helped, I think, build a better diversified organization.
How do you plan to sort of grow this? Today, what is the percentage of women employees within the organization? And what are your plans henceforth?
So currently, I would say there's not many because we are a manufacturing and we have a lot of contractual labor. So with that, our strength becomes 800. But all these women are on permanent roles of companies. So, but if I compare that percentage, so out of 150 people, say 50 are women. Yeah, already working. And obviously now we have no barrier. So we have various forms of business. We have manufacturing, we have operations. Even in operations, we have made it a point that 25% of the women are employed. We are appointing drivers as women. We have maintenance staff as women. And, security guards are all women at all our depots. So that kind of initiative at operation level also, we ensure, at least we try, that happens. Somewhat in this world, it is difficult for women to come out of their house of that strata to come and really work. But we really push them with incentives, with PFESI, so that their family also pushes them for better income and better reputed job to come and join us. So I think that we have really ensured as a part of our ESG, HSS policies.
Oh, that's wonderful, because as an organization, you're taking those initiatives and making it count, right? So, Manvi, also give us an insight into your leadership journey, right? Your approach to leadership. Talk to us about that.
So, people sometimes look at me as a dominant leader. Sometimes people look at me as a very adjusting leader. But I believe there is that balance that a person creates when you really sometimes have to be authoritative. Although it sounds a bit regressive, but I think as a woman, you cannot be always accommodating and because otherwise people can ride on your thoughts very easily. So I keep that attitude with me of firmness when I think something is right. But at the same time, towards my team, I'm very accommodating with their ideas, with their functionality. I think I impose a lot of trust in my team that if they do a job, I don't sort of haunt them or check them. I said, I trust you. If you've done a job, fine. And then maybe I'll just overlook it so that they also don't feel, and they feel again more of belongingness. So I am proud to say, I think all the people that work under me, I don't have to tell them when to come and when to go. They feel attached to their work, they feel responsible towards it, and we have the results that in the last 3 years, PMI has become #1 EV manufacturer. With a very small team. I have a very small team. But we all work as a family and as one goal together that we are trying to achieve. So I think that way, I believe that team is important.
Right. Now, having the team, of course, the right team is, of course, of utmost importance. How do you empower your employees? How do you empower your team to take decisions, for instance? How are you creating the next level of leaders within the organization?
So what we do is, whenever a project comes in, so we don't tell them that, okay, this is supposed to be done. We sort of try to have a round of discussion and we invite ideas that if you were me, how would you probably solve this? And when they come up with an idea, so we would formulate everything together and try to find the best possible way to be done. So when somebody's idea, gets implemented, that person feels that, okay, this is my baby and I need to accomplish that. So that's how, and as I mentioned, once my team has done something, next time I leave it to them. You do it, right or wrong. I have learned it from my promoter himself, that you do it. If you make mistakes, we are there. So that's the kind of leadership which we have, imbibed, and I'm trying to pass it on to my team. That, make mistakes, learn. But that's how you will grow, and that's how you will be able to climb up the ladder. Also, we really try, at least I try, that if somebody does a good job or somebody does a good contribution, we can reward them other than what they are getting, or make them feel special in a way by maybe some bonus, maybe some incentive, maybe some package, whatever they feel, then make them motivated and happy.
Okay. What specific opportunities do you see for young women who are sort of keen to make a career in this mobility sector in the coming years?
I think there are opportunities all around now. You see, there's a huge opportunity in terms of financing. I think the weakness of this sector is that there is a demand, there is a supply, but there is nobody to fund it. So I think if we have a platform or an organization which sort of caters the demand, reaches out to the institution, banks, have a pool of funds which can support the industry. And I think women do the financing job better. So if we have women in this, I would mention Mahua Acharya, the MD of CSL, she has set an example that a woman alone has, been making a track record of having the highest number of e-bus tenders out in the market. So I think it proves that it's not, if anybody says mobility is not women's job, I think that's what she's proved wrong. And if more and more women come in this sector, I'm telling you, it will move much faster. And we will be able to solve many loopholes and problems in here. And I somehow believe that women believe less in bureaucracy and politics, so which drives the industry in a much more practical way.
Okay.
Yeah, because we believe in working.
Interesting. Also, as leaders, what are those core areas, Manvi, you think that leaders should focus on, considering the transformation, the evolution that we're seeing in this industry? Of course, you have talked about where women can focus on, but what are the sort of challenges that you see, and what are the kind of changes that you'd like this industry to bring about?
I think the biggest challenge for a woman to be in this industry is that still not many. I think parents promote their children to be girl children to become engineers. I think since our childhood we have been in this misconception that doctor is a girl and engineer is a boy.
Right.
But now I think with number of IITians increasing in the engineering side in the future, maybe this roadblock goes away.
Okay.
And I've seen even if women pursue, they don't pursue their careers as engineers for long because it requires long working hours. It requires traveling to places which I think many families or maybe their own bandwidth would not allow. So I think that's a bigger problem.
Okay.
So if companies sort of facilitate these trainees, these these new engineers to have good trainings in the company and post them in places which is near to their hometown or maybe in their hometown, that rigidness can go down considering that women have these challenges.
Sure.
I think it will promote them to work more and more in the organization.
Very well said.
I mean, yeah, if you want to choose that whether a boy to be sent out or a girl, I think, although it sounds biased, but yeah, if they are accommodated to that extent, I guess that will help them to continue their job and training an upward curve.
Okay.
And I think the second challenge is because the world where they go in, still it is dominated 90% by men.
Right.
So even if they start working, they find themselves as a misfit and probably they would not get that growth and they would quit and leave.
Right.
So that I think practically I've seen happening, that even your boss would come and train the boy and nobody would probably bother to put, I think, too much energy on the girl because they might think, okay, not required. She might go, she might take chutti. So if a boy goes at 5 o'clock, nobody questions. But if a girl leaves at 5, to ladki school jana hi tha 5 baje. I mean, I think we're still living in that perception. So,
which is of course unfortunate.
Unfortunate, yeah. And it's changing. I'm not saying it's like same as it was maybe 5 years back, but I think these are major challenges.
Has hiring been a challenge for you as well? Particularly young women that you're hiring in your organization?
So I think we got a very enthusiastic response when we announced that we are having a plant which will be an all-women engineer plant, and we got a really enthusiastic response. So people are keen to work and join so far as somebody is ready to handhold them and be patient with them to sort their smaller issues. I think those issues are not big. Like at least COVID has taught us that work from home is also an option.
Correct.
The economy can function at a work from home, and I think big companies, MNCs have now shifted permanently to work from home. So now the biggest challenge which a woman used to face while she used to choose a career, I think that has gone away. That even if she has to handle a child and has to handle her home and be at home, she can definitely work. Of course, engineering jobs might not be so easy, but I think still some flexibility to an extent to accommodate them can be done. And trust me, once you give women that comfort, she's much more hardworking than any other person you would ever find.
Right.
Once you get that comfort, once you tell them, don't worry, work at your comfort. So someday she might work till 10 p.m, but the other day she might have to go at 5. But that much, I think, flexibility in work culture, not only with women, I'll say, with men, if you give, I think it gives a better performance and a better this thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But and also on the hiring part, these women who get hired, I think a lot of them are pressurized by their families also at a given point in time. So it's not only the industry that is pulling back, I think even the society pulls back women.
Right.
Yeah, they also don't really give them that flexibility. So in fact, this reminds me, like for women employees, we also give a shuttle service at our plant. In our electric bus, we have a pick and drop. So they get together at a point and we pick them up from the main area because our factory is inside.
All right.
So we don't want to make them travel at an area which is not safe.
Okay.
So we pick them up, drop them up to a more this metro stations and bus stops so that they can be home safely.
Okay.
That's also we do.
No, clearly very wonderful initiatives that PMI is taking towards women. One last question, Manvi, your message to young girls, women who wants to make a career in this sector, what would that message be for them?
I don't know how to summarize it in one line, but I would say that don't stop yourself by thinking that technology is not for women. I think there have been many women in the country who have invented things which man could not have even thought of in the automobile sector, like wipers, like electric heating system, like the transmission system. These have all been done by women. So I think you should make career into this sector, and this is one booming sector. By 2030, I mean, it will account for major, GDP growth in the country. So you should have your own platforms. There are so many opportunities like battery, like bus, autos, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, everything is now turning electric.
Sure.
So I would say that find an opportunity, have your, and don't hold yourself back thinking that this is not our cup of tea. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking to Mobility Outlook, Manvi. Truly appreciate you taking time.
Same here. Thank you.
Thank you.